Welcome to the Women's National League Wrap for Series 4. Today I'm joined with Alanna and Vanessa, and we'll be discussing all that happened last weekend. So I'm going to kick right off with Sligo versus Bohemians. Bows were the only team to win away from home, 3-1, and it was a good result for them, I guess. But another week where I was massively impressed with Christian Sample. Alanna, how did you find the game?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a weird one for Sligo at the weekend, right? Because they were kind of in the game, and I suppose Bows were just the ones to capitalise on their chances, whereas most of Sligo's close ones, anyways, were mainly from set pieces, especially let's say Hansbury's free kicks, because everyone's seen that one at the end, where obviously it went in, it was brilliant goal, but they were bubbling kind of all game, and anytime she got one, Bows nearly had about 6 people in the wall to kind of counteract it. They were that close every time, yeah, Bows just really kind of got into the swing of things. Sinead Taylor and Chloe Derry with goals. Taylor with 2, of course, and as I said, yeah, Kristen was called into action plenty of times too, and was kind of the saving grace for them there, in the back line a number of times. And I guess kind of made the headlines too for scoring that goal that was ruled out. But yeah, the last line of the defence for Sligo and brings a bit of experience that they kind of desperately need to.
Yeah, I mean, what a goal it would have been if Christian Sample's goal was allowed, but I think it was an indirect free kick or something like that. But yeah, I thought Emma Hansbury's free kick as well at the end was class. So Vanessa, it was another win for Wexford, 3-0 again against Treaty. I know you're a former Wexford player yourself, so I do have to ask, do you think they have a great shot at winning the season?
I think it's very hard, and you'd probably be embarrassed saying personally anyway, because every time we even saw last year, I think was it one weekend that there was someone leading the table after every game. So I think it's very hard to say who you think will win this league at the start so early in the league. But I think you'd be embarrassed to kind of count Wexford out of anything. I think they always do finish strong, but for me it'll be important for them to start strong as well, because obviously there's been a lot of changes in their team. It's a mixture of really experienced players versus really young and good quality players as well. So I think it's really hard. I think they definitely do have a shot up there with Shelburne and Peamount as well, but personally I think it's really hard to count anyone out this early.
Yeah, I think as well, when you have a player like Ellen Malloy who fits so well into that centre role, she's still so young. It's going to be very interesting, the league title. And look, hopefully we'll get the same run that we got last year where it came down to the wire. I think we're all hoping for that. I suppose the game that I guess surprised me a little bit was Athlone versus Galway. Athlone won 3-1. Alanna, were you surprised at all by that result?
I was in one way, but I suppose I wasn't utterly kind of shocked in another way, because Athlone have shown in the games even earlier this year that they are capable of grinding out and are a really determined group this year. But I think if anything, Emma, it shows more than ever how much of a key component Savannah McCarthy is to Galway. Obviously, she announced there over the weekend that she's got an ACL injury that's going to rule her out of Galway and Ireland for some time, and I wish her all the best in her recovery. And she's a massive blow to that team though, and to the entire league as well, I think, because she's just been brilliant to watch. And I actually had her pegged as my predicted player of the season, and I don't think that was a outrageous call either. I think a lot of people had as well, because the year that was supposed to become for her was anticipated to be a big one, and devastated for her. But yeah, look, maybe it's an opportunity now for someone else to step up for Galway and take on that leadership role, and maybe they can push on from there.
Yeah, 100%. And finally, the biggest win of the weekend, Shelburne put 7 goals past Cork City. Vanessa, we know that Shells are losing Jess Sue and Saoirse Noonan's gone back to Durham in summer, but I suppose when you have players like Abby Larkin, Leo O'Leary kind of coming up through the ranks, is that a positive for them, I guess?
I mean, it's never positive losing some of your best players, but I think something the Shelburne always do well is they always have good young players coming in who fit very well into their system. So personally, I wouldn't be too worried about Shells. In that sense, it's kind of, you're more worried about how well they'll fit in. I think the quality is always there with Shelburne. They're a very technical team, But the difference now is that it'll definitely be a disadvantage in the sense that Peamount is very experienced in that sense, and Wexford have the opportunity of having their younger players play longer this year. So it just depends on how they'll fit those new players into the team. But once again, they're very young but very talented players as well. So the experience might be the difference in certain games, especially when they're playing the bigger teams. But I think overall, I don't see it being the biggest of problems for them.
Yeah. And I guess like I have to ask Alanna, I know I asked you early on who you think you're going to win the league, and I'll come back to you in a second if you want to stick with your answer. But Vanessa, I know you said it's hard to kind of pick a team so early on, but who are you going to go for the league this year?
I genuinely don't know. Like literally, I can't. Like I think the way I see it, Peamount are always going to be the ones that you're fighting against. I think that they always will be there, regardless of their loss last year. They're just such a talented team, and they make it look so easy when they play. But I don't know. There's something about Shells and Wexford and their fight, and I think sometimes Peamount can be complacent, especially because of that experience. So for me, it would be between Shells and Wexford again. But yeah. I think it's, I don't know, just even to say against Peamount as well, I genuinely don't know. I don't know. Like.
Very interesting. And Alanna, are you sticking with your prediction?
Yeah, I had actually went Wexford as well. But I like exactly what Vanessa's saying there. You can't argue with the quality of both Peamount and Shells. And even like they showed it against DLR there at the weekend. Like we got a bit nervy there when the 2 comeback goals went in, but they still stuck it out. But yeah, maybe those long range efforts that went in at the weekend, there'd be something Wexford will try and exploit now when they play them this weekend. So it's shaping up nicely in that regard. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks a mil, Alanna and Vanessa, for joining me this week, and I'll speak to you very soon.